Hello everybody and thank you for joining me. Continue today my team by team preview of the 2022 World Cup. And today I'm looking at one of the giants of South America. It's Argentina, and arguably one of the greatest players that we've ever seen all time, potentially playing in his last World Cup. It is of course Lionel Messi. The Argentinians will challenge themselves in a group that contains Saudi Arabia, Mexico and Poland. You can catch my other team previews and analysis on the channel, and if you'd be so kind as to give me a like and a subscribe, that would make you a World Cup legend. But moving on, let's have a little dive into Argentina. Argentina, football. Diego Maradona, Lionel Messi, 2 World Cups. It's a country full of footballing history, but it's also a beautiful country in its own right. You have the wonderful cities of Buenos Aires, Rosario and La Plata, with lots of picturesque landmarks such as the Iguazu Falls pictured here on the right. Diego Maradona, of course, is renowned as one of the best players in the history of football. An absolute genius of the game. 91 appearances for his international team and central to that World Cup win of 1986. If you're relatively new to football or just more of a modern fan, do check him out on YouTube. Some of his compilation clips and techniques and fantastic skills are amazing. For this World Cup, they are heavily odds-on favourites to win their group, and 4th favourite overall to win the entire thing. So they're heavily fancied. But how will they do? Argentina are, of course, a 2-time winner of the World Cup in 1978 and 1986. Who can forget Diego Maradona, one of the greatest ever to grace the game, dancing around England's defence on the way to their 2nd World Cup victory? But we won't mention the hand of God. The World Cup of 2014 in Brazil was the closest Argentina have come since, with the team from South America just falling short in the final, losing to Germany 1-0. Last time out in 2018, Argentina ended up scraping through the group, seeing them heavily defeated by Croatia 3-0, held by debutants Iceland in the opening game 1-1, taking a 2-1 victory in their final game against Nigeria to get them to scrape through in 2nd place. But that was where it ended for Argentina, as they faced the eventual world champions, the French, in the last 16. It was one of the matches of the tournament, as France won out in the end 4-3, with Kylian Mbappe on absolute fire. Argentina will be hoping for much better this time around. Lionel Scaloni is the head coach of the Argentinian national team. Taking over in 2018 after the last World Cup, Scaloni has a 67% win ratio in charge as he prepares to take control of his 50th game leading Argentina. As a player, he is a name you might remember from the Deportivo La Coruña teams in the early 2000s, as a wing-back/full-back, appearing multiple seasons in the UEFA Champions League. He has previously been an assistant at Sevilla alongside Jorge Sampaoli, and followed him when he was appointed Argentina national manager in 2017. When Sampaoli left his post in 2018, Scaloni was initially named caretaker manager, before permanently taking on the post. With a win in the 2021 Copa America, he will go into the World Cup with high hopes. Qualification for both Brazil and Argentina in the South American section for qualification for the World Cup was fairly straightforward, with the Argentines stronger than all their opponents outside of Brazil to finish 2nd. The top 4 qualified, with the 5th place Peru ending up having to qualify via a playoff. With the Copa America 2021 win as well, Argentina have built themselves as a real threat going into this World Cup. Of course, Lionel Messi is getting older, and we are getting towards that sad day when he's no longer going to be able to grace a football field and for us to watch it. But for now, he still jointly tops the top goal scorer charts, with Inter Milan forward Lautaro Martinez, as they both scored 7. 39 points overall in the qualification is an impressive total. Can they take that sort of form through to Qatar? Here we look at their home and away results against their South American opponents, and shows how strong Argentina were as they were unbeaten through the entire qualification period. The World Cup qualifier between Brazil and Argentina was a crazy situation, ending up being suspended during the game after Brazilian health officials entered the pitch in a row over COVID rules. The officials marched onto the field shortly after kick-off, confronting the Argentina players, who left the field, while the 2 managers, along with the Argentinian captain Lionel Messi and Brazil's players, were stuck in the middle just having a chat. It was never replayed, so the 0-0 draw between the 2 remained the only match that they played. Now looking at how Argentina line up, Scaloni has predominantly lined up in a 4-3-3 style formation, which can revert to a 4-2-3-1 or even a 4-1-4-1 on occasion. In goal, the rising Premier League star of Emiliano Martinez has secured the number 1 spot in goal, ahead of a back 4 which contains Molina, Christian Romero of Tottenham, Nicolas Otamendi of Benfica, and Marcos Acuna taking up the position at left back more often than not. In the midfield three, the trio selected most often has been Rodrigo de Paul, who we will feature on coming up, Leandro Paredes and Giovanni Lo Celso, while Nicolas Gonzalez and Lucas Ocampos may feature for minutes in midfield or attack. Up front is full of attacking firepower, with Lautaro Martinez supported by the one and only Lionel Messi and another talented experienced attacker in Angel Di Maria, while Joaquin Correa and new Manchester City signing Julian Alvarez could well feature. In an interesting squad, how far can they go? We now move on to players to watch, and of course it has to be him, a player we've all enjoyed the pleasure of watching throughout his career. It's Lionel Messi, in the argument without doubt for one of the greatest players of all time. Of course there's the Messi versus Ronaldo debate, which I'm not going to get into right now, but I'm just very pleased that we can enjoy both players at this stage of their career. What I'm sharing with you here are attributes from Football Manager from his player profile. You can see technical, physical and mental stats of Lionel Messi, and the ones that are in bold are the ones that are linked more key to his preferred position. It's just to give a bit of context and something different to his stats. Messi has been an enigma as a footballer. His ridiculous technical ability, phenomenal goal scoring record, and he's won more trophies than I've had hot dinners during his career. Now in his mid-30s, he's playing in a less dependent Argentinian side on his abilities, and while at club level at Paris Saint-Germain, he's surrounded by other creative players as well. One thing that is for sure, if Messi is to cement his place as the greatest of all time, a World Cup win on the way out would be very, very hard to ignore. Moving on to Rodrigo de Paul. Now he plays alongside his two Argentinian partners in the Atletico Madrid midfield, Leandro Paredes and Giovanni Lo Celso. De Paul started his career as a playmaking number 10, and now Paredes is more of a central midfielder and Lo Celso out wide. The Atletico Madrid man has become more of a multi-purpose player, supplementing his natural talent with commitment, endless running and determination. De Paul moved to Europe and Valencia early on, where some inconsistent form led him returning to Racing Club for a brief spell on loan. His next port of call was Udinese, where he settled quickly and began producing his best football in Serie A. Appearing alongside Messi at the Copa America, he proved to be his ideal partner, thanks to his tireless running and creative instincts. He's a driving force in the Atletico midfield, and he's nailed his place down in the Argentinian national side. He made a telling contribution in Argentina's biggest achievement of the last few years, providing a superb assist for Angel Di Maria in the final of the Copa America against Brazil. Lautaro Martinez is arguably Argentina's main goal threat now of the Scaloni era. After bursting onto the scene with Racing Club, Martinez moved to Italy to lead the line for an Inter Milan side that was crowned the 2021 Serie A champions, thanks in no small part to his goals. That season saw him score 25 in 49 appearances in all competitions, and he's now re-established that partnership he had with Romelu Lukaku coming back to Inter Milan. The ever-improving Martinez should be at the peak of his powers as he goes to Qatar. Aside from his attacking attributes, the man known as El Toro has an important role to play in Scaloni's system. It's a hard-running first line of defence, helping to conserve Messi's energy by freeing him of any defensive duties. After missing out on a place in the World Cup in 2018, Martinez is ready to shine in Qatar and to provide the cutting edge that Argentina lacked in the three finals they lost before they ended their trophy drought against Brazil in Maracana last year. Looking ahead to Argentina's matches, they open their Group C campaign against Saudi Arabia, who again qualified strongly out of the Asian section. They finished third in the group stage in the 2018 World Cup, but Argentina will be heavy favourites on that opening night. But it's worth bearing in mind the same was said 4 years earlier, when they played Iceland in day one and they were held to a 1-1 draw. A tasty North versus South American clash with Mexico looks key to deciding the ultimate direction of the group. But Poland and Robert Lewandowski, likely in his last World Cup, may have something else to say about it, as the Poles lie in wait for Argentina in the final match day of Group C. Now it's time to have a punt and make a prediction on where Argentina are going to go in this World Cup. My thought process is while they've struggled in previous World Cup group stages, they'll find their way through to qualify against good opponents in Poland and Mexico. An unbeaten run in the qualification process gives me more confidence in the Argentinian squad, added to that Copa America win. So I think this time around, they'll win the group. Do they have potential to go far in this World Cup? Of course they do. I'm predicting though a quarter-final ending, which is just on the basis that the way that it lines up, they will likely play Netherlands or possibly even the French, depending how the group goes, in that quarter-final, who are also super strong. However, Wouldn't the idea of an Argentina versus Portugal final to close out the careers of Messi and Ronaldo just seem too tantalising to ignore? What a match that would be for the world of football. And with that, I thank you for taking the time to watch this episode of the World Cup preview on Argentina. If you're interested in the rest of Group C or my other previews on the other teams within the World Cup, then please check out the channel. I thank you today for joining me again, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.